Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha, as always, and I welcome you to my channel, to all of my videos, and I hope that you guys are enjoying them if you have been watching them for a while or if you just started watching them. And I hope that you guys learn from them, that you get a lot of benefit out of them. In this video, I wanted to kind of continue the series that I've been doing offhand, the series about dating an INFJ. And a comment that Diggy Down, which is a great name, had about the fact that INFJs, because we're such mysteries, or we pretend to be mysteries, we feel like we're mysterious, we also want to find mysterious people around us. Now, what do we mean by mysterious people? We mean that we want three-dimensional, multi-dimensional, perhaps even like 20, 30-dimensional people around us, because it's so much fun to peel off the layer of an individual and discover something beneath the surface, beneath the mask that they have been presenting to the world. To us, doing that, that process of kind of figuring someone out and learning about them and just really getting to know them deep down within them, that process is the dating process to us. It's not about, or the relationship process, if you want to call it. It's not about, kind of going on to a movie or going to have dinner and all those superficial things. Those are fine. I mean, yes, we could do those things. That's all right. We can exchange chocolates and we can exchange gifts and do all that. But the real purpose of us getting into any kind of relationship, not just sexual or romantic or platonic, any kind of relationship, is because we want to discover more about that individual. Because we met the individual and all of a sudden we have this fascination with them. We find them interesting. We find something in them that we want to extricate. Extricate, is that a right word? We want to remove that. We want to kind of dig deeper, like an archaeologist. We want to go in and we want to dig into the sand and we want to find out what's underneath it. We want to look at the excavations. We want to find out, what's deep down within them. And that process of discovering the mysteries of an individual, that to us is the fascinating process of being in a relationship. That's the only reason I think a lot of us get into relationships, is because all of a sudden, as I said, we meet someone who we find surprisingly mysterious and surprisingly interesting. Because most people, we can read right away, right? We see them, we meet them, we know exactly who they are. There are maybe dimensions to them, but not that many, and we know who they are instantaneously almost, or through a little bit of conversation, and they become boring to us very quickly because there's nothing underneath the surface anyways. There's nothing that we can dig deeper with and learn more about. And if it isn't something that really interests us, So if we do meet someone as an INFJ, we meet someone that is fascinating to us and we're like, oh, this is intriguing. All of a sudden I feel interested by this human being in front of me because they have so many dimensions, because they're so interesting, because they are fascinating to us in whatever way possible. That's when we really start thinking, okay, I want to get into a relationship with this person. Now, of course, it doesn't really just have to do, as I said, with romantic relationships. It has to do with any kind of relationship. So even friendships, we only get into relationships with friends when we think that they're going to be interesting, when they're going to give us a little bit of a challenge. They're going to have all these layers to them that we're going to have fun excavating, that we're going to have fun digging deeper and figuring them out. And that is why we get into any kind of relationship, as I said, not just romantic. I'm focusing on dating an INFJ in this video is because the reason a lot of INFJs get bored of relationships or of people and move on, either door slam or just stop talking to them, is because of the fact that we get bored of that individual, because they have no layers to them, or we have already extricated all the different layers that they already have, and there's nothing more for us to learn about that person. There's nothing more for us to excavate. There's nothing more for us to unmysterize. That's not a real word, but I thought that'd be a good word to use. So that's what I think is the problem with me mostly when I get into a relationship, is that, I'll do these 1 or 2 month relationships and then I realize there's nothing really there besides the things that I've already learned about this person. Because when you first meet a person, they seem so interesting. They have all these interesting, fascinating interests and obsessions that you're like, wow, this is really fascinating. You meet someone and they're interested in archaeology, or they're interested in anime, or they're interested in travel or something like that. And there's all these random interests they have, and you're kind of learning about them, and so fascinating. But all of a sudden you kind of go through the motions and you go on a couple of dates with them, or 5 or 10 dates, and all of a sudden you realize that, okay, yeah, they had a few mysteries to them, but then now you've discovered everything that they do, and they are actually turning out to be quite boring, right? And that's when the relationship fades out. That's when the INFJ either door slams or just leaves, or breaks up and goes off and finds someone else perhaps, or just stays alone, because that's the best way to do it. That's not the best way to do it, I'm just saying that. So what can we do about the situation? Now, as an INFJ, I really implore you guys to stop door slamming people. I know it's one of those things that we do, and it's very useful to us, and it's a great tool that we use, but please stop doing that. If you are finding someone not interesting anymore, or if you're finding them not to be a mystery anymore, the first thing I would actually do as a person in a relationship is try to form mutual similar interests. So if you're finding that person doesn't have a lot of interest and you're finding them to be a little bit boring, perhaps kind of get them interested in something that you're interested in. What I've done in the past is that when I was with someone and they were kind of turning out to be a little bit boring. I'm sorry about the ambulance sounds background. What I decided was that, I love travel, and so I started interesting them in the process of travel and took them on a long trip with me, which was really, really great. It turned out to be a really good source of conversation for us, and it brought us closer to each other, right? But so that's what I actually tell you guys to do as well. Like, try to give them a little bit of a chance before you completely slam the door in their face or switch off that relationship. Try to kind of build your similar interests. On the other hand, from the non-INFJ's perspective, I would say that if your INFJ is losing interest in you, it's probably because, as I said, they've excavated all the different things out of you. They've kind of gotten everything out of value from you, which is a terrible thing to say. I know it sounds horrendous. It's like we're just using you for our own benefit. We're such terrible people sometimes. But anyways, so once we get everything out of you that we wanted to get, we kind of leave. And unfortunately, that's the case. But that is actually like a sign for you, I think. It's actually like a sign from the universe or from the world or from us saying that, yeah, you're a really good, interesting person, but perhaps develop yourself a little bit. Perhaps learn a little bit more about what interests you. Perhaps kind of get a little bit more multidimensional, because that's just an idea for you. It's just an improvement thing for you. It's just the universe telling you, yeah, you're awesome, and this INFJ loves you, obviously, and spend time with you. But perhaps there's a little bit more development that needs to happen in your regard, a little bit more personal growth that needs to take place before you can really be the kind of person that an INFJ can be with for a long period of time. Now, I do realize that there is a caveat in all of this, that you can never always constantly be growing, or you can never constantly be mysterious to someone else. Eventually you're going to learn everything about each other, and you're going to become non-mysterious and perhaps a little bit boring as well. And that's what happens in relationships, right? That's why a lot of relationships, people in relationships kind of start getting bored of each other, and that's why divorce happens, or that's why people break up. And so the prerogative is not just with the INFJ or the non-INFJ, it's on both sides. Both of us have to keep on developing ourselves. Both of us have to keep on learning and growing and becoming that better version of ourselves, so that it's not about boring each other, but it's just about actually becoming a better human being every single day, growing constantly, because we are in this world, we're on this planet, our souls are here, our spirits are here, not just because they want to eat a lot of good food and have a lot of good sex, Partly that might be the reason, but mostly it's because we want to keep on growing. Our souls were reborn, if you believe in that, if you believe in reincarnation, and I do. I feel like our souls are reborn over and over and over again, not because it likes to be reborn and live in this terrible world with suffering, but because it wants to keep on learning about itself, about what it likes, what it doesn't like, what it wants to do with its life, what kind of impact does it want to have, and just keep on growing in general for the rest of eternity, right? If I had a choice in the matter, I would always want to come back to this planet as a human being, because I want to keep on learning about myself and growing as a human being, just to become more and more aware of what's going on, more conscious of everything around me, right? And so I think that's the whole purpose of it. So it's not just so that your INFJ can stay interested in you, it's also for yourself. Don't you also want to keep on changing and growing and changing yourself in a way that you are constantly doing different things and trying different things out, not living in that comfort zone, that zone where we get suffocated and we die because we're just spending so much time being in that little comfort area and not stepping out of it, right? And so trying new things out is not just for you and for your relationship, it's not just for your INFJ, it's for the benefit of all involved. It's like a win-win-win-win situation. Anyways, so I hope this makes sense to you guys. I hope I was able to explain to you guys what I was trying to get across. I think I answered what Diggy Down was asking, hopefully. If I didn't, please let me know and I'll obviously expound on it a little bit more. If you guys have any other questions or any other comments or suggestions for videos, please let me know as well in the comments below, or all my contact information is in the description below as well. So you can Facebook me or email me or whatever you prefer. All right. Again, thank you so much for watching and I shall see you guys next time. Bye for now.